Hi, I'm Victoria Young, and I'm the founder of On Your Side Tutoring. Today, I would like to go over a grammar topic called relative clauses, which is a topic that many people find difficult. The purpose of a relative clause is to describe a noun phrase. What else can you think of that describes noun phrases? If you said adjectives, you are exactly right. Relative clauses behave exactly the way adjectives behave. And in fact, many people call them adjective subordinate clauses. The first type is the restricted relative clause, and it identifies a preceding noun phrase. So let's look at an example. Curiously enough, though, I never saw the woman who was with the green snake again. The meaning is it identifies the woman the narrator didn't see again. Basically, it's a group of one. It identifies it's that woman, okay? I will talk more about this in a minute. So this next part applies to all relative clauses. They're called relative. It refers to the idea that the noun phrase, in this case, it's in the direct object position in the main clause, okay? So let's look at this. In the main clause, the subject is I, the verb is saw, and the direct object is the woman, okay? So the woman is the noun phrase that the subordinate clause is describing. Okay, and in English, it can be replaced with a relative pronoun, such as who, whom, that, which, etc. Okay, so not all languages support this. Some languages only support that the subject be replaced with a relative pronoun. Some languages do not have subordinate clauses. So in this case, English does support this, okay? And then the relative pronoun we choose is who. And why is that? Well, let's look at the relative clause. Who was with the green snake? If I substitute the noun phrase back into, or substitute the noun phrase for the relative pronoun who, I get the woman was with the green snake, okay? Because that noun phrase is in the subject position of the clause. Remember, the definition of a clause is that it has a subject and a verb, okay? If that noun phrase is in the subject position, then I should choose who. If it were in the object position, I would choose whom. So let's look at non-restrictive relative clauses, and then let's compare the two, just to make sure we understand the difference. So the non-restrictive relative clause does not restrict the noun phrase. So the noun phrase refers to the whole group. It would be this whole circle. So all of the witches in this case, it would apply to. It would describe. Okay, so let's look at the restricted type. Okay, curiously enough, though, I never saw the witches who were with the green snake again. So this only is going to, because it's restricted, it's only going to apply to a portion of the group, a set from the group. So looking at this circle, this set is in the blue portion of the circle. It's about 30%, okay? And the rest of the circle, more in the teal, is about 70%. So these witches do not have green snakes, just this 30% in the blue. They have green snakes. Okay, so in the non-restrictive version, if we look at the clause, we see a comma. So we need a comma here, okay? That is the difference as far as whether the subordinate clause is going to describe the whole group or just a portion of the group, okay? So in this case, I never saw the witches who were with the green snake again, okay? So looking at the circle, it's all of the witches. They all have green snakes, okay? So this is a fun topic to practice with your favorite reading. You will find relative subordinate clauses everywhere in English. There are usually many in a short passage like this can have many relative subordinate clauses. So what is fun to do is just try to identify these clauses, okay? So if you would like to pause this and try to pick out the clauses, feel free. Here are the answers. And be aware that sometimes you see reduced relative subordinate clauses. So a reduced clause will not have, sometimes will not have the relative pronoun and the verb. Okay, so try to identify those two just for fun. And then oftentimes we look at a passage like this, we're looking for relative subordinate clauses, and you may say, there are other types of subordinate clauses. So you may wonder, how do I know if it's a relative subordinate clause? How can I tell the difference between a relative subordinate clause and a noun or an adverbial? Well, let me show you. So looking at this, if I look at the subordinate clause, who was with the green snake, and I substitute that noun phrase that it describes in the position of the subordinate pronoun, if I can do that, then I know for sure I am working with a relative clause. And that's how you can tell, how you can identify this relative clause, or a relative clause, any relative clause. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Looking at my tagline, this is also it is a subordinate clause. It is not a relative clause. I will tell you that. The first person who goes onto my site, you can get there by www.onyoursidetutoring.com, and sends me an email and tells me what type of subordinate clause is because we're on your side, gets a $5 Pete's gift card. Okay, thank you. I'm Victoria Young, and I create these videos because I'm on your side. Until next time.